Alright guys, today I'm going to show you all my 2022 kayak bass fishing setup. This is what I'm going to be running this year. I've showed you all some of my other kayaks in the past, back when I had the Bonafide, back when I had the little Hoodoo, but obviously I had to make the biggest upgrade I possibly could, and that was go with a Hobie PA14. It's a 2019 PA14, guys, and I'm telling y'all right now, I already absolutely love this thing, and the only way I'll ever get rid of it is if I end up upgrading to like a newer model, but I'm gonna have this thing for quite some time. So let's get into it. I'm gonna show y'all kind of how I got everything set up for the 2022 season, exactly how I fish these tournaments when I'm out in the kayak fishing and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get it started. So first off, we'll start with the trailer, just because I mean that is a part of the setup. I had this built, I've done videos on it, I've showed you guys, some of the OGs of the channel seen the trailer, so it definitely makes it easier to load and unload this PA14. I can back this thing straight down into the water at the ramp, slide this Hobie off into the water. I usually just pull it over to the side. I'll show y'all a little clip of that. A lot of these tournaments, when you show up to fish, obviously it's usually lines in at like 6 a.m. or usually it's lines in at 7 a.m. and you can launch at around 6, so it's usually dark. So I had some lights and stuff installed on the trailer, which you ain't gonna be able to see it. Obviously it's
super handy,
bright as daylight, but at nighttime when you're out there at that ramp and it's pitch dark, these things really light things up really good.
Even floating the river, Josh.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So we're gonna start at the very front of the kayak. This is how I keep my net, because I do use a net, unlike Matt. He says he don't use a net. He yak flips.
That's right.
When I'll yak flip, but if I'm in a tournament, we're gonna have this net.
Oh yeah.
You're cranking or something like that, and you got a 19-20 inch fish on that.
Got that money.
You don't want to lose that fish.
Yeah.
So we keep the net right here. I got this little grip here that I just stick the paddle on, just stick it up on the front of the kayak. It's out of the way. I've got tons of space on this Hobie. And like I said, it keeps that net right out of the way. I can just reach up, grab it, net that fish, stick it back up here on these grips to where it doesn't bother me in the way. These Hobies come with a very huge hull, so you can keep a ton of stuff in here. Just got a little dry box, a little Velcro on the bottom. That's what I put my little battery in. I just got like a little 7 amp hour battery. I usually end up having to switch it out about midway through the day. I just ran my wires through that box and I just hooked that little battery up, stick it in here, out of the way, unseen, doesn't bother you. And then I've just got a little Plano box that I keep a bunch of extra plastics and stuff in. That way I've got, space. I keep some 10-pound leader line, and I've actually got a couple masts that I keep for my Hobie drive. That's something that if you do have a Hobie and you don't have the kick-up fins, you definitely want to keep an extra set of these, because you will eventually end up bending those things. So, but that's what I keep in the front. It's usually where I throw my wallet, I'll throw my keys. If you're, carrying a pistol and you're some crazy place, on a sketchy, ramp, you want to keep that pistol up here in the front of that kayak. All your little, things that you want to keep safe. And like I said, you can strap this thing down. You don't have to worry about if something was to happen, somehow, which I don't know if it's even possible to flip these down Hobies, but it could be. All right, guys, coming a little bit further back to the kayak, you got this little center console here. A lot of people keep a little bucket in there, but me, I like to keep the 2 little Plano boxes. That way I can keep all of my terminal tackle in there, and it opens up an extra space in my black pack to where I can keep, an extra box back there. So I can keep my terminal tackle right there in this center thing, and then I just got my Sharpie and usually some extra paper and stuff like that.
That
my
right
eternity
there.
Tag and whatnot.
Super important.
Yeah,
Sharpie.
Sharpie is very important fishing these kayak tournaments, and having, a couple extra pieces of paper you can write that identifier down on. Obviously, you need a life jacket. A lot of people ask me how I keep my phone on the kayak, because I have dropped my phone in the water. I just literally just have a little tether, and you obviously got to have the type of case, but I mean, I just kind of do it a little ghetto rigged, and I just hook that thing right through there. So that's just something to show you all really quick. You got to have a life jacket. You got to have a flag and 360 light, and if you got a pedal drive, you got to have a paddle as well on your kayak, just to be safe and have a backup source. And as always, you got to have the kayak cushion on these things. I won that in one of my tournaments. I believe it was fishing for soldiers. I ended up getting my name drawn for that kayak cushion. So let's show you all something here. Obviously, the Hobie is one of the best kayaks there is, so that seat just flips right up so you can get to everything. Justin's put this little Craftsman's toolbox. I think it's called the T-Stack. If you got a Hobie, I mean, this thing is absolutely awesome. When I'm sitting down in this seat, I can reach under my seat, pull this drawer out. As you all can see, I've got sunscreen, I've got extra reel oil, I've got my wacky rig tool, I've got my lure knockers that I got from Knox Rod and Reel. I usually pick these up from out there. I think a high school team makes those. Keep some super glue so you can keep your paddle tails, you know, attached to those jig heads. And I'm just like Matt, I've got an air horn as well in this thing. And then I keep some extra plastics and stuff like that underneath here. My Big League Baitco drawer is full of Big League Baitco plastics.
Man, don't be showing them what you catch
and
fish
I've
on.
got my scale as well, so. And then, like I said, when I'm sitting in this seat and I'm fishing these tournaments, I want to be comfortable. These Hobies give you so much space to be comfortable. I keep my catch board right here beside me, so where when I'm fishing and I catch a fish, I can grab that board. And what I do is I pull that board around and I place it right up here at an angle, right underneath this H rail. I usually got a foot over here, and I'll take my net, which some of y'all have already seen in some of my other videos. I'll take that net. Even though these Hobies have got a really deep well here, you're probably not gonna lose your fish, but if I got a big one and I'm nervous, I'm gonna stick that net right there like that. And I've got this board at an angle. Dip this board in the water. That way that fish kind of slides down and it shuts his mouth. Flip that thing open, snap your picture of your fish, get it submitted. But I always put mine at an angle. That way it keeps that fish's mouth closed. You don't have to, a lot of times I don't even have to put my hand on that fish to take that picture. Like the title says, this is kind of my 2022 setup plus kayak setup. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the kayak, like I said, and how I keep things organized for, you know, fishing the tournaments. Like I said, I always keep this net. To some of you guys that are new, you know, you definitely want to have that net. You will get into situations where you need that net. And like I said, I can just lean up, grab that net those fish. You don't want to be losing a fish in a tournament, you know, say there's even $400 or $500 on the line. We're all trying to, you know, make those few extra bucks. We're running the HELIX 5. Hopefully, when I got out here, I noticed Matt had a HELIX 7 in there in the garage just chilling. I was like, whoa, bro. You got a HELIX 7 sitting out here? It goes on his boat and he's selling it. What is it, the Triton?
It's a Triton TR19.
He's gonna sell that thing.
99 model.
He's gonna be selling that thing, guys. Any of y'all looking for a boat, buy it. Hopefully it won't have the HELIX 7 on it, but it will have the HELIX 5 because everything matches up perfect. So if I can get that HELIX 7 off my man over here, it's going to be on the.
If somebody sees this video and buys that boat, I will give Josh the HELIX 7. So you're helping him out.
So let's talk about one of the really cool things on the kayak as well. It's something that Matt actually come up with and made. It's something that helps me out a ton, you know, fishing, even kayak, you know, fishing these tournaments. It's having everything organized. You know, say I'm floating down the river. I know I'm going to be throwing a Ned. I know I'm going to be throwing a crankbait or a spinnerbait. I can go ahead and have 2 or 3 lures sitting here on this bass platter. I can have them sitting here. I can hang, you know, 2 or 3 spinner baits. I can have a extra mag draft and 2 or 3 Ned heads with my plastics already on it. That way I don't have to dig around while I'm floating down the river looking for these things. My pliers go right inside of it. My scissors fit right in it. You got nice little lanyards it comes with. I've got my fish sticks. I've got my crawl and my shad scent, and then I've got my dip and glow, you know, chartreuse and the red as well. This thing will mount up on the tough, what is it, the Ram Tough Track, and we know for a fact, you know, it'll fit like that on the Hobie. It fits on the Bonafides. It fits on the what is the
Coosa FD.
The Coosa FD. It also fits on O-Town PDL. I believe it's the 120.
Yeah.
It fits on those as well. Y'all can reach out to Matthew Johnson on Facebook, looking for lunkers. You can find it on Instagram. Shoot him a message. Let him know what kayak you've got, and he'll get you set up if this thing will fit on your kayak. But very handy little tool right there. So let's go to the back. So we've just got the black pack. This come off the Bonafide. Y'all probably seen this thing in like 2 or 3 other videos because I mean, why would I sell it and get anything else? Because it works.
The OG.
I can keep like 1, 2, 3, 4 plain old boxes. I got my jigs. I got my topwater box. I've got all of my like crawl pattern crankbaits, red, orange, chartreuse, stuff like that. More of a crawl pattern. I got a box for that. And I've got a box with my jerk baits, all my white, you know, stuff that mimics shad and stuff. crankbaits. And then I've got a big swim bait box, a really deep, you know, lino box that holds, you know, a few more bigger swim baits and stuff like that. So I've pretty much got everything I need on this kayak with this blight pack. And I've still got tons of room. I could put a cooler on the back of this thing. And I usually transport it. With this little box on the back, and I strap it down. But when I'm fishing, I'll stick this little box on the top. And what this is I just call this my smallmouth box. This is pretty much what I keep, you know, a few baby wipes in, a pair of fingernail clippers, and then pretty much everything for smallmouth fishing. All of my Neds, my paddle tails, all of my Z-Man stuff, I keep all of that in here. And when I tell you all, when you're sitting on this kayak, I haven't been in a kayak before that is this comfortable, this well thought out. This is probably the ultimate kayak bass fishing kayak for tournament fishing. That's why you see a lot of the guys in the Hobie, BOS, and a lot of these Bass Nation events. A lot of these people are in Hobies because it's so comfortable. You have so much space on each side. You know, you've got 3 rod holders on each side. You can fit 6 rods on the deck of your kayak. You've got all these little accessories right here. You can put, you know, carabiners on the side. You can hook your fish grips. This is what I use for my fish grips. Here's one I use when I'm on the river and I'm floating or I need to tie off to something. I got these bigger fish grips. I'll hook them onto a tree limb or anything. If I'm on the bank and I need to hook onto something, I can stick these fish grips over there and just kind of hook it on and sit in position. So
when you take that drive out right there and you're out in the water and you know, it's been a long day and you've been drinking water, you pull that sucker right out, stand straight up, and that's where you pee at, man. That's a urinal.
You can drain the main.
Yes, right in there, into the lake, and then just paddle off.
That is really good.
It's great.
Stability is amazing on these things, and that's one reason I went with it.
Super good.
Obviously, you've got a high seat. You can adjust the seat with these handles. Look, you can see that thing moving right now. Going back, you can move it back. Like I said, you can adjust it forward. Same thing with this seat, up and down. You've got a lumbar adjustment for the back.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is really, really thought out. I've got the cart underneath it right now. You can you put the cart in the bottom, lock it in with this little pin. You pull it out, lock it in with that little pin, or you can stick it back in there and pull it out. It's just really, really handy. Everything on this kayak is completely thought out. It even, like right here, look, let me show you all. Here's my rudder. I can pull it, drop it. My rudder's down in the water. I can pull it back up. When I'm coming back up to the bank, pull that rudder up. Here's my transducer. My transducer actually pulls up into the bottom of the kayak if I don't want to hit no rocks or anything. Or I can drop my transducer, pull it back up. So super handy little kayak, man. I'll probably, like I said, I won't upgrade again unless it's a newer model. So another little thing that I did do is I added a small little bitty track mount right here on the blight pack. So I can put my flag, my 360 light, and that thing is up there high enough where if a boat's coming down the lake out fishing a tournament doing 60 or 70, they should see that light on and that flag, because that thing, like I said, is up on the blight pack and then it's up. And the Hobies are so stable, once it gets daylight, I can turn around, stand up, reach back here and grab it. It is the one that kind of comes apart, so I can just kind of reach back here, pull it towards me, turn that light off. Anyways, that's it, guys. That's my 2022 setup. Hopefully we can go out and win some tournaments in this thing. We've already got a win for 2022. We've already got a second place finish for 2022. We just got big fish in a tournament with probably 68, 69 guys, caught a 5.5 pound largemouth, and we're sitting in third for ALY with a 50-point tournament. If I could have got rid of that 50 and done a little bit better, I'd probably be leading for ALY right now. So we've got our best 7 will determine who wins ALY plus the Classic. If we can have a few more good tournaments, get rid of that 50, we got a really, really, really good chance this year. Hopefully we're guaranteed to make the state championship team if we keep fishing pretty good and finishing in that top 10 range. And yeah, like I said, hopefully this video helps some of you guys that are new to kayak fishing, even some of you people that are, OGs of the sport. Get you a bass bladder. There's still things you can always add to your kayak. So if you haven't, please like, please subscribe. Hope y'all enjoy the video. Hope y'all enjoy the other videos. And as always, I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.